Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Marissa. Welcome all of you to the Mama Knows Best series, where I am featuring mamas who know best that will uncover, illuminate, and share various ways to simplify and elevate the mom life. The motif that is laced through the various topics that range from productivity to creativity is identifying and honing in on the magic in the mess. We all know that motherhood is messy, AF. It's also magical. Not always in equal measure, but quality, not quantity, right? One way to augment the magic is to embrace the messy. Finding the magic in the mess will ground you and transform you. It is commonplace and transcendent at once. So, the mom life struggle is real. And when you're doing all the things, you need some clarity, some inspiration, some encouragement, and some motherfucking support. This is to mother you, mama. All right, let's dive into the magic in the mess. So I am thrilled and delighted today to invite Marisa Lonic to share her insights and her wisdom with us. Marisa is going to talk about a topic that is so vital. Marisa has a blog. She has an online business. She has a blog, and she has just launched a digital course all around the topic that we will be exploring today. So this topic is the slippery, ephemeral sort of thing that we as mamas, as busy mamas, are constantly clamoring for, right? How many times do we find ourselves saying, if only I had more time, if only I had more time for myself, if only I had more time for my family, if only I had more time for my business, if only I had more time for all of it, right? For all the things. So this is the topic that Marisa will be exploring with us. And I'm going to go right ahead and pass it on to you. Marisa, I'm going to, first of all, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Yay. And I want to start this interview by asking you, first of all, just to describe in a few sentences, what it is that you do and how it is that you came to do what you do. Because I know we all, we go through sort of journeys and transformations in our life, right? And what with the thing we start doing is often not the thing that we end up doing. So I always find it fascinating to hear from other women and other entrepreneurs how they ended up doing what it is that they're doing and how they found their thing.
Yeah, thank you. So, I'm like all of you probably watching this right now. I'm just like a regular working mom. I have 3 kids under 5. I work in corporate America in addition to doing what I do and I'm passionate about, which is my business and my blog, Mama Work It. But I'll tell you a little bit about how I got there. So I've always been sort of like a planner by nature, right? It's just part of my DNA. It's just kind of who I've been, and it's worked well for me. It's helped me get to a lot of places, achieve a lot of things, and if you're also kind of a planner, it can be a blessing and a curse. You kind of have to know when to let go and when to kind of let things be. But anyway, so I come from this kind of just character of that's what I'm good at and that's what I've done. And in 2016, I moved cross country. And it was for a job promotion, and it was, a really great adventure and really great. But as you can imagine, it kind of like created a little bit of a change and upheaval in just my routine and my life. So at the time, I started working with a life coach for the time being because I wanted to just explore different ways to find balance and feel kind of more like I was gaining more control in this new environment and situation. And I started my blog at the time as just a creative outlet. I just wanted to have a place to kind of put my thoughts down and, write about the things I was experiencing and the things I was going through in this journey. And I shared it with no one. I shared it with no one. So for 2 years, I wrote these stories and I told no one about it. And then in 2018, I put my foot down and I'm like, I'm going to I'm going to publicize this thing. So I did, right? And I put it out there and I started to get more involved with it. And I started to think of services and other things I could be doing for this really deserving market of working moms, and just really any mom that wanted to find some balance in her life and maybe do better at, working with her time. So I did. And like you said, I'm really excited. I just launched an e-course. It's called the Get More Time Project. And it really just talks about and gives moms strategies and tips on how to make the most of their time and how to prioritize themselves back into their lives. Because I don't know about you, but they always put themselves last on the list. Yeah. And we all know what happens to the last thing on the list. It rarely gets done, right? Yeah. So I've kind of transformed in how I operate in that sense. And I want to share all that knowledge in this course. We also just wrapped our first local event where we networked together, we drank wine, we chatted, and we talked about that topic, and we learned about how to really plan and prioritize ourselves as moms back into our lives.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It is so important. And that's so exciting. And congratulations on the live event also.
Thank you.
And I love that you're doing that. I love that you're incorporating both the digital and the online services and also doing live events, because I think that, nothing can replace person to person.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I love the virtual world, but there's something about the human connection that's important too. So
yeah. Fantastic. So I want to ask you, because this is such a vital topic and it's something that we're all like, just like, give me more time. And I think you're right. I think and a big piece of it is prioritizing our time, right? I want to ask you if you would share a few bite-sized actionable steps we can take to achieve more time, or, or should I say, to reframe time in a way that feels, that in a way that will give us more calm or more peace or more a sense of greater expansiveness.
Yeah. So one thing I would say that you can start doing, like in this moment, a small thing that you can start doing, costs you nothing, doesn't take much effort, is simply to stop saying, I don't have time. I know that sounds really small and silly, but I stopped saying it. And it kind of changed my life. And I replaced it with a new phrase. So I no longer say I don't have time. I say it's not a priority to me. And it made a huge difference. And I'll give you an example, right? Like right now at this stage in my life, these 3 little kids under 5, working in corporate America, in addition to, running this blog and other fun things that I'm doing, I have kind of opted out for the time being of exercising on the regular. It's just something that, I thought about, and I thought to myself, it's just not something that's fitting into my lifestyle at the moment, right? So I used to say all the time, I don't have time to work out. And it felt kind of like, kind of like icky, right? So now that I've replaced it with working out isn't a priority to me, it just makes more sense, So I'm comfortable with that, and I'm cool with it, and that's okay. And you know what? If I said it's not a priority to me and I was uncomfortable with it, what would I do? Well, it would kind of ignite me to make a change and to figure out a way to fit it into my life.
Right. And
so I think just saying, like, changing the way you're saying those kind of things really just helps to either help you feel more comfortable with how you're spending your time, or help you feel more uncomfortable so that you need to change the way you're spending your time.
That is so powerful. It is so simple. So
simple
and so powerful. And I feel like so often those are the lessons that we need the most, right? It's those lessons that are so simple and yet so deep. I love that. It made me think of something that my aunt said to me. I remember when I was in college and just in the thick of end of semester and papers and dissertation and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, like I don't have time for myself, I think I said, I used the word balance, like I feel so unbalanced or imbalanced because I don't have time for myself and all these other things. And my aunt said, balance doesn't mean, having a little bit of everything or doing a little bit of everything in perfect balance every single day, right? Balance can mean a year of this and a year of that, and it kind of like stretches out over a lifespan. So it's not,
Totally.
it's not like I need to be in perfect balance every single day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have more of this and sometimes you have more of that. But I think prioritizing, I think your angle of focusing on whether it's not a priority to me at this moment is really, really key, because
Yeah.
Then we can relax, right? Then we can just
Exactly. Yeah.
right now, let it go. And how much lighter are you when you can let that go?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that reframe. Another reframe that I have been sort of trying to incorporate into my life lately is instead of saying I have to do this, whether it's like whatever it is, doing things with my kids or this or that, is just reframing that to I get to do this, right? And how much more, again, how much more lightness is in that rephrase and reframe of I get to do this.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about like your perception, right? So you could treat it, like you said, as a have or something like that's weighing on you, or you could treat it like a privilege.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love looking at things from that positive angle. I think you can kind of turn almost any situation into a positive one just with the way you look at it.
I totally agree. 100%. Awesome. So my next question, we all know that the juggle of life and work and kids, and you've got all of those going on in your life.
Yes.
Real, right? What is something that eases or facilitates your mom juggle and gives you a little more equilibrium?
Well, I don't know if I have like a perfect recipe for this, but I will go back to that mindset thing. I think mindset is everything. If you can look at that glass half full, that's half your battle right there. If you can look at things from that positive angle, if you know that, moments are fleeting and the stressful time, whatever it is going on, your deadline, your lack of sleep for the week, your whatever it is, it's going to pass. You're going to get back to some type of normalcy soon. From a practical standpoint and a tactical standpoint, I try and just be as organized as I can. I just try, like I said, I'm a planner. So I try and do as much as I can in advance the night before or here and there, and just kind of organize my time and organize my day in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming and stressful to me. And if there's something that doesn't get done that day or make it on the list that day, there's always another day to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I say to my kids when I put them to bed at night. It was like, tomorrow's a new day, right? There's always another day.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you, because you kind of mentioned this, I wanted to ask you more specifically, as far as like planning your time, do you have any systems around that? Do you do that the night before? Like, will you plan your tasks for the next day the night before, or do you do it once a week, or do you have some sort of system around that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of different for each facet of my life. I rely a lot on my calendar, though, like my phone calendar.
Mm-hmm.
I think that holds me accountable for things. It gives me that like 15-minute reminder before. It blocks out time where I'm already sort of scheduled to do something. It's kind of like my brain, because mom brain's a real thing. So I will forget anything unless it goes in that calendar. So that is really my system in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I do try and do things in advance when I can. I don't like to leave things till last minute. I think that if I can do it and forget it, that's like golden to me, because I don't want another thing kind of like taking up brain space. I want to just be able to get things done, check them off the list and be done, right? When I can. But of course, there are things that you can't just do that. So I think having sort of a resource like that is very, very helpful. And then, you know, if you want to take it a step further, which in my family, we have this, we do like a shared family calendar app if we need to kind of communicate in between amongst each other. And that's super helpful too. And our caregivers on there along with my husband, myself. So
yeah. Awesome. Those are definitely helpful tools.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. So what is one of the most impacting lessons learned along your mompreneur journey?
That is a really good question. I would say, you know, do your best and then let it go. You know, there's only so much you can control. And if I know I've given it everything I've got, or I've done all the research I can do, and I have, you know, that's the best I can do, right? And I have to let go of that. And it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy because I struggle with it too. But I'm a firm believer that, you know, there's a path I'm supposed to take. So even if I don't make every decision the right decision, and who knows what's right and what's wrong, but even if I don't feel like I made the right decision in every case, I know that it's going to lead me to where I'm supposed to be, or it's going to teach me something really important. So I think that just, you know, not even on the entrepreneurial lesson, but just like as a life lesson, I think that's really important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think what I'm realizing more and more is that the entrepreneurial process is really is sort of a breeding ground for personal development. I mean, right?
Yeah.
So much of it is mindset. Like you talked about the mindset piece earlier, and so much of it really is mindset. And you know, and those are life lessons in there. Yeah, there's, you know, we can talk about failing forward, right? Talk about trusting. There's just so many pieces in there that are the mindset pieces that are really the pieces that will move us along, right? I mean, I think essentially it's an inside out job. It has to come from the inside.
Yeah. And you have to be willing to constantly learn, I think, right? And you hit it right on the head, I think, with the personal development piece, because, you know, I think the more you're willing to like really do that work and develop yourself and learn and just try new things and learn about yourself, the more fulfilled you're going to feel on that journey.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Is there anything that you want to add? Anything that you feel like you need to get in there before we sort of close?
Well, I'll definitely add what my website is and where you can find me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know that you wanted to, you wanted me to say that before we end it. So I will. My website is Mama Work It. So it's www.mamaworkit.com, MAMA. And we are on social media too, and at the handle @Let Mama Work It. So feel free to follow us there or like us, or subscribe is really the best place on the site. It's free, and you will get my morning mama glamour tips when you sign up. And then you'll hear from me on the regular, just with new blog posts and new product launches and, you know, maybe new live events in different areas. So
exciting. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. This was so wonderful. Thank you for sharing your insights. It is so wonderful to talk to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really excited to be here. So I appreciate you reaching out.
Excellent. All right, Marisa. Well, thank you. And thank you all. And yeah, I feel like I have to make like some comment about my crazy hair.
I love your crazy hair. I love it.
When we record in the evening at the end of the day, when it just goes poof. All right, y'all. Thank you, Marisa. And y'all go check out her blog. It is awesome. All right. Have a good night.